first, you will need your bag, your tessellation on canvas, a scissors, an embroidery needle, 4 pins, straight pins, and embroidery thread. Next, you will center your canvas onto your bag. You want to make sure that it is equidistant between the edges and your canvas so that this side is the same as this side. The top will have a little bit more give because there's a greater hem, and the bottom should be the same as the side. Now, we will take our straight pin and put it in the center of each side of the canvas. You don't need much, just enough to hold it in place. The most efficient way to do this is to stick your hand inside the bag, like so. Take your straight pin, stick it down, be very careful not to poke yourself, and then you will manipulate it to come right back up through the bag and through your canvas. You're just going to make sure that the whole edge is straight on all sides. Seems that way. Now we will thread our needle. You will take your embroidery thread, and the best way to do this is to take about your arm's span and fold it in half. So I will do that now. I have threaded my needle, folded my embroidery thread in half, but now I need to add a knot at the very end of my string so that it does not pull through when I begin sewing on my bag. I find that making a knot a couple of times is best. My end of my thread is here. I loop around just like this. I put the inside in between and I pull very slowly to make my knot. I'm gonna do that one more time so that I have a large enough knot that it will not go through my canvas or burlap. Sometimes this can be difficult because you need to make sure that the knot lands on the former knot. So here's a third one for good measure. I'm gonna start in the inside of my bag. I'm gonna do this so that we can hide my knot. So I'm gonna go all the way in the inside with my hand, and I'm gonna pop the needle through my canvas, and I'm gonna pull all the way up. And this is the tough part, but you can do it. I'm gonna pull it all the way through, and it's quite taut. That means my knot is working. And then from here, I can continue sewing. You may start in any corner you desire. What I'm looking for is consistency in your stitching. So I'm gonna insert. I came from the inside, now I'm going from the outside in, and I'm keeping my bag quite open so that I don't make the mistake of sewing any part of the bag that I did not intend to sew. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that, and you're always gonna pull all the way through. Perfect. Now, my goal is to make even and straight stitches. So I'm going to kind of find where my needle's popping through. That feels good. I'm gonna pull all the way, going from the inside, pulling out. And this is called the running stitch. So you're gonna continue this, and I'm gonna try to keep it straight, and I'm going to try to keep all my stitches consistent. Let's see, does that look about right? Yes, it does. I'm gonna go ahead and push that in. Now this is tough because we are working through two relatively thick materials. So take your time and do a good job of lining your canvas and your burlap up so that you can have nice, clean, and consistent stitches. So I've skipped approximately the same amount. I'm gonna pull this all the way through, and I'm gonna continue. At a certain point, you will have stitched all the way around most of your edges, and you will run out of thread. So I am going to show you how to add thread. You're going to do, as soon as your needle gets to a point where it's getting a little bit too short for you to handle, you'll finish a last stitch, pulling it all the way through. And then as you can see in the inside, I'm leaving it in the inside. So I'm going to take my scissors and simply cut my needle off. Put that off to the side. And in the inside, I have a hanging thread. I'm going to go ahead and take a new piece of embroidery thread. Go ahead and cut that. So I've cut another piece of string. I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the eyelet and pull it on through all the way. So again, I have my needle and then my two ends. What you'll do is you'll take this side and together you'll tie a knot. I'm going to make my knot as close to my bag as possible so that I don't have to pull it on through when it comes to sewing. So those two are tied together, and I will just be able to continue my running stitch as before. So that's how we can add our thread when it runs out. When you get all the way around, you'll want to remove and return these straight pins. I like to keep them in for the duration of sewing the edges so I know that my canvas does not move around on our bag.